Alright, so where we left off was we created a local folder for our sample project or intro project, and we created a Git repository, and we learned how to add, commit, and push files to the remote repository. So what I want to do now is just create a very simple Phonegap script that we can upload to our repository and then bring it into the Phonegap build service. So we have an index.html file here. I actually want to open up the Phonegap documentation, and there's just a whole bunch of stuff here. There really is. If we look at the API reference, this gives us different APIs and syntax, so we can deal with the camera, capture, all that stuff. If we click on device, device is mandatory. And if you look at, let's look at an example right here. Like I said, we ran into this code earlier, and I told you that we'd be seeing a lot of it. We need to add an event listener for the device ready event, and then we need to call a function when it's ready, which here is onDevice ready. Then we're calling a function called onDevice ready, and in here what we're doing is printing out some of the device global properties: the name, the Cordova build, the model, the version, and we're inserting that into this paragraph. So let's actually grab this code and put that right in our index.html. And let me close this so you can see it a little better. So it's pointing to the Cordova.js, which we don't need locally, because when we upload it to Phonegap, Phonegap gives its own Cordova.js file. Like I said, where we have a listener, then this is going to run. It's going to put this information into this paragraph. So let's save that, and let's upload that to our repository, so we can say git status to see what's going on. We modified index.html, so let's do a git add. Then we want to do a commit. We could just put added index file script, I don't know. And then we want to git push. Okay, it's asking me for my GitHub login again. Okay, so that's pushed. So now what I want to do is add a config file. So if we go to, let's just search for Phonegap config.xml, and there's a bunch of information here about what you can do with a config file. You can add metadata, you can add which kind of features you want to use, you can add all the images and splash pages that you want for your app. So what I want to do is just go to this Phonegap start application, and this is just a sample config file. So I'm going to copy this and go to my editor, and I'm going to put in a new folder, a new XML document called config, and I'm going to paste this in here. And I don't need all this stuff. This ID here is, you can put whatever you want here. It's usually a backwards domain format. I don't know why they do that, but they do. So we'll just say eduonics.testapp. Okay, and we can change the name. This is a testing app for Phonegap, and we'll probably be using this test application just to keep changing and showing you how to use certain features and re-uploading it. And I'll actually download the APK file for Android and install it on my phone and show you how that works as well. Because sometimes features won't work in the emulators, so you have to put them on the phone. Let's see, I'll change this to my name. Features, right now we're only using the device feature, which is mandatory. If you want to add features like camera support, geolocation, you have to specify that here, which we'll do later. This preference stuff, it tells you what it does over here. I guess I'll just leave it. And here is where we define all of our images. All our icons are in this block, and all our splash screens are in this block. But we're not going to be using any of that, so let's just get rid of those. Okay, I think that's good. Let's save that, and let's go ahead and upload that to our repository. We'll say added config. Okay, and then we'll git push. That's getting really annoying. Alright, so that pushed. So I think that we're ready. Alright, so let's make sure it updated. Yeah, so we have our index, we have our config, yeah, so we don't have this Cordova.js, but Phonegap build will automatically put it in. Alright, so let's try this out. Let's sign in with GitHub. Access your account. Okay, so here we can actually give permissions. A third-party application wants to ask your account. So read write. So we just want to allow access. Okay, so one final step. This email address will be used by Phonegap build for notifications. Okay, I don't want to receive emails, but I will agree to the terms of service. Okay, so now we have this little platform we can use. This tab is for uploading private apps. You can do it from a repo, which we have here, our test app. But a free account, you only have one private app. Here, this open source, we can have as many apps as we want that are open source. So since our GitHub account is linked to Adobe Build or Phonegap Build, we can just pull this right in, this test app. This is just really cool, really easy, a much better way than using what we did before with the Android plugins for Eclipse and all that. Alright, so now we have our testing application. It has our GitHub link. So now we just want to click ready to build. So now it's built, and we can download for any of these platforms we want. Actually, if we click on testing application, it'll show us each platform. We have iOS. If you click on error, you must provide a signing key first, which I believe you need to pay $100 for a license. For a license. So we won't be generating any iOS apps as far as I know. We have Windows, which takes an XAP file. HP phones have an IPK. Androids have an APK file. This is, I'm not even sure what this is. It takes a WGZ. BlackBerry, with BlackBerry you do need a key, but it's free. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab the APK file, and this is an actual application that you can run on your Android phone. So let's save that. Now we can also use an emulator, and we have one at what is it? Emulator.phonegap.com. Well, emulate. Alright, so we need to get the Ripple emulator in order to use this. So let's click on that. This will take us to, I believe, the Chrome store, and it's just a browser plugin, so it's free. So we want to click the free button, add. Alright, so now it's already installed. If we go to our app page, which is localhost / test app, I think. Alright, so let's open up Ripple. We just need to click the icon, click enable, and choose which version. We're going to say Cordova Phonegap 1.0, and you can see that it worked. Alright, so the emulator is working. It's giving us the information that we requested when the device is ready. If we go back to our code, we created an event listener for the device ready event, which is fired off from the device feature, which we included right here, the device feature. Okay, and then when that's called, we want the on device ready function to go off, which is defined right here. We're taking the document.getElementById device properties, which we have here, and we're putting HTML, element.innerHTML, which just inserts whatever you want into that P tag, which is the device name, Cordova, platform, all that stuff. And that's showing us right here. So that is your first Phonegap application. I will show you how to do that on your actual device with that APK file as well. So we'll do that next.